Soldiers knocked down the new girl, dust rising around her in slow motion, sunlight catching every speck. Her uniform was crisp, her posture perfect, yet in that moment she looked small, almost fragile. A collective chuckle rippled through the ranks. No one realized who she was. Not yet. Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. Tell me where you're watching from. It was a hot morning on the base, the kind where the sun presses down like it wants to see every flaw. The soldiers had been drilled to react quickly, to assert dominance without hesitation. The new girl had appeared hours ago, silently observing, notebook in hand, her eyes steady. No one knew she carried the weight of authority that would soon shift the ground beneath them. Her name was Lieutenant Commander Ilara Winters, recently appointed as the base Admiral. But that title, with all its medals and privileges, was hidden beneath the folds of a borrowed uniform. She had chosen this disguise deliberately. She wanted to see the real rhythm of her base, unfiltered, unscripted. The soldiers had mistaken her calm confidence for hesitation. One misstep, a bump on the training field, and they knocked her down. Laughter followed, not cruel, just careless. She hit the dirt, her notebook slipping to the ground. Sunlight caught the pages, turning the words into fleeting sparks. She looked up, brushing dust from her sleeve, her gaze soft but unwavering. No one laughed after that. Silence fell like a weight. She stood slowly, and the dust swirled around her like a halo. It was quiet, but her presence commanded attention. One of the soldiers stepped forward, ready to explain, but his voice faltered. The laughter that had echoed just moments ago was gone, replaced by a sudden awareness that they had underestimated her. Ilara spoke, her voice calm, measured, carrying the authority of someone who had faced storms far larger than this. Respect is not earned through force. It is given through integrity. Her eyes scanned the soldiers, lingering on each one, seeing both fear and shame. She crouched to pick up her notebook, letting the silence sink in. The wind carried a faint scent of dust and grass, a quiet reminder of the earth beneath their boots. Soldiers shifted uneasily, realizing that the new girl they had laughed at was the very person they were meant to follow, the one who held the power to guide them, not through punishment but through example. The story could have ended there, with embarrassment and awkward apologies. But Ilara believed in a different kind of lesson. She did not scold. She did not yell. She walked among them, notebook in hand, sharing notes about training techniques, about strategy, about leadership. Slowly the soldiers leaned in, listening. The weight of hierarchy was gone, replaced by respect earned in silence. It was not just her authority that transformed the moment. It was her calmness, her refusal to let anger or pride dictate the day. The sun dipped slightly, shadows stretching long across the training ground. A bird passed overhead, momentarily blurring the lines between sky and earth. The soldiers watched it almost unconsciously, learning that even the smallest gestures could carry meaning. One young soldier, barely out of training, finally spoke. "I didn't know. I never expected." His words trailed off. Ilara looked at him, her eyes softening. Expectations can blind us. We see what we think we know, not what truly is. She smiled lightly, the kind that healed embarrassment rather than magnified it. From that day, the base changed. Orders were no longer about submission or fear. They were about collaboration, about understanding the weight each person carried, about seeing potential where others saw weakness. Soldiers trained harder, yes, but they also listened more, observed more, and respected the quiet strength that had walked among them unnoticed. Weeks later, when she officially revealed her rank, there was no shock, only a quiet recognition that they had already seen her truth. The base admiral was not someone who commanded with volume but with vision, not with force but with patience. The soldiers who once knocked her down now stood taller, carrying the lesson in their posture, their actions, and their glances. Ilara watched them from the balcony of her office, the sun low in the sky painting everything gold. She thought of the dust that had danced around her that first morning, the laughter that had turned into silence, the fear that had turned into respect. It was a reminder that power was not in proving strength, but in revealing it quietly, consistently, and morally. The moral is simple, yet timeless. True authority does not shout, it shows. True strength does not demand respect, it earns it. And sometimes the ones we underestimate are the very people who will teach us the most profound lessons. If this story moved you, like, comment, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to Kindness Valley for more untold stories.